Welcome to Face to Face, the program
that frontally discusses
political and social issues in Nigeria. The weekly program brought to you on Wednesday by 6 p.m. Nigerian time, anchored by Prince Ewemade Concourse, powered by GCSDN.
Join us.
Good evening to all our wonderful viewers all over the world, and welcome to Face program. This is the program where we frontally discuss political and social issues in Nigeria. This weekly program is brought to you every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Nigerian time, anchored by my humble self, Prince Ewemade Concourse. Our topic for today is, what can Nigerian citizens do to ensure that their vote does count in the 2023 general election? We are going to be joined in the studio by our brother, our friend, and co-host, Dr. Edmond Ike. But before then, let me just run through some of the summaries of what we are going to be discussing today. Nigerians must vote and defend their votes during the election. They must also wait to make sure the winner is declared before anything happen. Well, I'm going to run through a script here that I have prepared for today's event. I hope you can see it on the screen. I just ponder on this statement on the upcoming 25th February and 11th March general election and properly be guided. One of the penalties for refusing to participate in politics is that you end up being governed by your inferior. Plunto. The wise who refuse to rule should prepare to suffer the rule of idiots. Socrates. People who elect corrupt politicians, impostor, thieves, traitor are not victims but accomplices. George Orwell. A vote is a kind of prayer about the kind of world you want to live in. Reverend Raphael Warnock. Not voting is not a protest, it is a surrender. Kate Ellickson. If you don't vote, you lose the right to complain. George Carlin. Bad governments are elected by good citizens who don't vote. Pluto. Vote like your rights. Vote like your rights depends on it, as your vote is your voice. Dr. Martin Luther King. The ignorance of one voter in a democracy impairs the security of all. John F. Kennedy. The ballot is stronger than bullets. Abraham Lincoln. Our life begins to end the day we become silent about things that matter the most. Malcolm X of blessed memory. I'm going to bring in my guest to the studio now so we can dive into the discussion for today. Dr. Edmond, you are welcome to the studio, sir.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here, and I say greetings to my fellow Nigerians and whoever is out there viewing this show.
Thank you. Our topic for today is, what can Nigerian citizens do to make sure their votes count on election day? In your own opinion, what can Nigerians do to ensure that their votes does count?
To ensure that your vote counts, first of all, you have to vote. Because if you don't vote, your vote will not count. So you have to actually vote for your vote to count. And to vote, you first of all have to get your permanent voter's card. We have been in the last days of permanent voter's card collection, like PVC for short. So we are in the last days of collection of PVC. And if you don't have a PVC now, that means you need to go and collect it. That's if you registered during the registration season. Because the first step as a Nigerian is, during any election cycle, you have to make sure you register for PVC if you don't already have one. And then after registering, when the collection season comes up, like we have right now, this is the collection season, you should ensure you go and collect your PVC. Right now, according to INEC, which is the Independent National Electoral Commission, there you can collect your PVCs from any of the local government area offices. That is where you can go and collect your PVC. So if you have not collected yours, go to any of the local government area office of INEC where that is close to the local government where you register or where you actually register. You cannot go to a different local government and collect your PVC. You have to go to your own registration local government. That's the local government where you register. That is where you go to collect your PVC. Don't go to a different. If you live in Lagos and you register in maybe Amuodofin local government, go to Amuodofin local government and register. Even though maybe you're not a Lagosian, maybe you just visited Lagos and registered, that is where you collect your PVC. If you register in Benin, that is where you, in a local government in Benin City, that is where you go and collect your PVC. So know this and follow through to the end until you collect your PVC. Don't wait till last minute. You know, some people are waiting till last minute. They always wait and hope that, oh, INEC is going to extend the deadline. INEC is going to extend the deadline. Yes, sometimes INEC extend the deadline, but you cannot always count on INEC to extend the deadline. Because when you expect that INEC will extend the deadline, maybe that is when they will not extend the deadline, and then you will have yourself to blame. Then you deprive yourself the opportunity to exercise your right as a citizen, because voting is your right. So it's like you are the one depriving yourself of the opportunity to exercise your right, or you are depriving yourself of the opportunity to vote the candidate you believe have the ability and the capacity to change the Nigerian story to a positive story. So that is why it's important you vote by starting by collecting your PVC. Thank you. That's what I'll start for now. We'll discuss further as we
Yeah, thank
continue.
you so much, my brother. While we were just discussing, we have our second guest just join us in the studio. Let me bring him so he can say hi to our audience. My brother Fidelis, how are you today? Great. Can you say hi to
Fine,
our,
fine, fine, fine.
audience, please?
Good evening, audience, and good evening, Dr. Ike and Prince.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
for
Our
Thank
topic
you.
for
bringing
today
this.
is what can Nigerian citizens do to make sure their vote counts on election day? First of all, you must go and collect your PVC if you have not done so. Secondly, you must go out on election day to vote. Vote and wait till the final result is tallied and the overall result is declared before you leave your polling unit. This is to ensure that the unusual doesn't happen after you might have left the polling unit. This is the only chance that we all have as Nigerians to redeem our country. I'm afraid if this election go the other way, Nigerians might have to pay the utmost price for another 4 to 8 years. So you must go out there and vote and defend your votes. Your vote is your right. If you choose to stay in the beer parlor on election day because you believe or you assume that your vote doesn't count, then you are the problem of Nigeria. You must go out there, vote, vote, vote. Call your brothers, your friends, your associate, your colleague, your co-worker. Encourage everybody to go out there and collect their PVC and also vote on election day. This is your right, because if you don't vote, then you have no right to complain. My brother, Fidelis, what are some of the things that Nigeria electorate must not do in order for us to be able to elect credible leaders? That they must not do, some of the things that they must not do, in your own opinion.
Okay, thank you very much. One, they must not stay at home during the election. They must come out and vote. That is very important. And they should not just feel like my vote doesn't count, blah, blah, blah. So no point, because if you continue thinking like these people will take advantage of your ignorance. I don't want to use the word stupidity. They will take advantage of your ignorance and put in the person that will torment and torture you for another 4 or 8 years. So you must not stay at home. You must not, first and foremost, you must not ignore your PVC. You must not stay at home. Sometimes we keep shouting the North, the North, the North, the North, the North. The thing is that the North, they don't joke with their PVC. It's like when it comes to voting, they are more enlightened than us. They don't joke with their votes. So we must not joke with our PVC. We must not joke with our vote. We must not take this as, we must take this election as something that we must do. We must do. So come out. Don't just vote and go home. Stay there. Protect your vote, because with these beavers, it will be very difficult to rig election. So please, you must not stay at home. You must get your PVC and you must protect your vote. Make sure you are there. Start the voting. Make sure you are there. It was counted in your presence. If possible, snap make sure when they send the result, make sure you saw it go.
Thank you. It's like you're having a network issue there. Thank you so much.
Yeah, the network just going and coming.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you, but we can hear you now. Thank you so much. People who elect corrupt politicians, imposters, thieves, traitors are not victims, but they are accomplices. They are also part of the problem. That's what George Owen said. A vote is a kind of prayer about the kind of world you want to live in. When you vote to elect credible leaders, to elect people of good character, people with conscience, that's like a prayer, the kind of prayer when you pray to God that you want something good. You want something good for your family, for yourself, for your environment, for your community. By going out there to vote on election day, to vote for a credible person, somebody that you think that has a good character, somebody that you so much believe in, that will be able to change Nigeria, that will make things to work again the way it ought to be. You are actually praying to God by going out there to vote for credible people. You are praying. That's a prayer, because you're believing in that person, that person will be able to do something good, will be able to change the status quo. When we do not vote, we do not have the right to complain. Our vote is our right. When you not just vote, but voting a credible leader. We've been voting since 1960. But this time we need to vote for credible leader. And that credible person in this political dispensation is no other person than Peter Gregory Obi and Dr. Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed of Labour Party. I don't need to be quiet about that. Everybody already, we all know that we are on this platform. We are advocating, we are campaigning for Labour Party candidate come 2020, 25th February 2023, which is less than 20, which is 24 days from today. Actually, it's 24 days from today. 24 days to the general election. The election that will decide the fate of every Nigerian, irrespective of our tribe, our religion, our political affiliation. Because whatever decision we take on February 25th, it's going to affect you, it's going to affect me, it's going to affect your children. Even the unborn children will come and also feel from the pain if whoever we elect becomes a problem for the society, for the country. But if we elect someone good, someone with good character, somebody that we trust, that we believe that be able to change Nigeria for good, then your children, my children yet unborn, they will also come and also feel the dividends of democracy that was done by that person that we elected today or on the 25th of February 2023. So we must go out there, my fellow Nigerians, those of you in the diaspora, this is what we all must do. It's a task. a week before the election,
Okay.
continue to call your brothers and sisters, your family members, your childhood friends, those you went to school with. Call them, give them reason why they should go out there and vote for Peter Gregory Obi of Labour Party. Sell Obi to every household. If it's possible, send SMS to people on before election day to remind them of their civic responsibility, that they must ensure that Peter Gregory Obi is delivered on 25th February 2023. That is the only hope. That is our last hope, as a matter of fact. Peter Gregory Obi of Labour and Dr. Yusuf Ahmed Dati. Those two candidates are our last hope, especially those of us who are residing in the diaspora. Those two men are the last hope for every one of us. If we are going to come back home, if we are going to come back to invest in our own society, these two men are our last hope. So we need to do what is right, Nigerians. We must go out there, vote, vote, vote. Call everybody, encourage everybody to vote for Peter Obi of Labour Party and Dr. Yusuf is vice president. Those are the two credible candidates that we have as of this political dispensation. There are other candidates, but they are not going to be able to do anything. Some of them promise to recruit 50 million Nigerian youth to eat cassava and agbado, while the other one is coming to continue to reloot the leftover that he left when he was vice president. And the other ones, they are very unserious candidates out there. My brother, Dr. Edmond, what can the government do to make sure the electorate's votes count on election day? What can the government do? Now, not the people, but the government of Nigeria, the ruling party, the people in the government. What can they do on their own part?
The government of the day is APC, and they are also in the ballot. And the president of today is President Muhammadu Buhari. And there has been ongoing conversation among we Nigerians, political analysts. Does Buhari have a skin in the game? Does he back the APC candidate 100%? Because if he backs APC candidate 100%, that means he may use some powers that he has now to manipulate the election outcome. So that has been the fear of many Nigerians. And some people have said that Muhammadu Buhari does not have any skin in the game, that actually he is determined to give an fair and equal playing ground for all candidates. And some even go as far as saying that he's actually working against the candidate of his party, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But all these are speculations, all these are hearsays. We don't know for sure. None of us have read the mind of Muhammadu Buhari, or none of us have seen the grand plan of APC, the ruling party, on how they plan to either make the election go smoothly for all, or thwart the success of the election, or skew the outcome of the election to their own favor, the favor of APC. So I guess the question now then, what can the government do to ensure that the election goes well, smoothly, and is free and fair? What they can do is to provide an equal playing field for all. They should try not to interfere in the election in any way, shape, or form. They should not send bullion vans to the INEC officials to buy them to say, okay, rig the elections for us on our behalf, on the behalf of APC. They shouldn't do that. They should ensure that INEC is very efficient. I know INEC is supposed to do that because they are the constitutionally recognized commission or institution that organize election from the beginning to the end of the election to ensure that Nigerians get free and fair election. So, but INEC is appointed by this government or by the government of the day. So the government of the day that appointed INEC should ensure not to interfere in the business of INEC. That to allow INEC to be truly independent, because it's called Independent National Electoral Commission. INEC should be truly independent and not try to side one party to ensure that party wins, even through crooked means. So that is what the government need to do. And efficiency. Because the problem we're having now is the inefficiency of government agencies. Example, inefficiency of INEC. The inefficiency of INEC is why it's difficult to collect our PVCs. The Nigerians to collect their PVC. Some people say they have gone to collect their PVC 3 times, 4 times. Why will it be going to collect your PVC multiple times and still not have success? That is because of inefficiency of INEC. So I plead, I beg, I pray that INEC increase their efficiency so that Nigerians can collect their PVC. That's one. And then on election day, they should also increase their efficiency to make sure that the beavers, we've been saying the beavers is like the holy grail. It has have changed the game in this election cycle. And we've seen it, yeah, it kind of changed the game. We saw in the off-cycle election, but we also saw some challenges during those off-cycle election, that sometimes the beavers does not capture well, and then they have to call their technical team. The technical team does not come on time, and it delays the election. And we don't want staggered election, because if you have staggered election, that is a recipe for disaster. It creates anarchy in a way. It creates a room for people to bring violence in this election cycle. And we don't need violence. Nigerian, every election cycle we hear 50 people died because of election, 100 people died. We have come of age as a democracy. We've been doing democracy for about 30, how many years? 1999, that's 24 years. 24 years of democracy. A 24-year-old woman have given birth to at least 2 babies in Nigeria. And a 24-year-old man in Nigeria is getting ready to get married, or some are even married. So we have come of age to ensure that there is less violence in our election, or even eliminate violence completely. So if INEC does not increase their efficiency, that creates room for violence. So that means INEC should try to ensure there is not room for violence in our election by making sure they increase their efficiency and make sure their IT team are on standby to fix the beavers if it start acting up, to ensure the beavers in all polling units work effectively on that day. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, my brother. Well, let me just quickly dive into what you just said about the president being a member of the ruling party, and also their candidate is also vying for the same office. However, there's a video that I have seen, and I'm sure you probably have also our viewers have also seen that video, where Buhari categorically said is not going to allow anybody to use the federal power to intimidate the electorate during this coming 2023 election. That whoever Nigerians wish to vote for, they can vote for that candidate, even though his party is also on the ballot. And secondly, I hope and I pray that he live up to that expectation, because you and I know very well, and our viewers will also know, you all know, that the 2015 election was free and fair. That's what defined the legacy of the former president, Goodluck Jonathan today. Today is highly respected all over the world, especially in the continent of Africa, because of this one simple thing. One singular act that they did was not to ring the election of 2015, and actually considered while the election was the counting was still ongoing. Today, that put him in the map of Africa as a statesman. So we're also praying and hoping that General Muhammadu Buhari will also replicate the same thing now in 2023. Now that he's leaving, he has failed woefully. He's leaving the government with F9, which is completely a failure for him. He has not done anything. So the only thing that this man can go back home with right now is to allow a free, credible election. Wins, let the INEC declare that person as the winner of the election. That is what we expect from General Muhammadu Buhari. And also, the Independent Electoral Commission, which is the INEC, they are supposed to be an unbiased umpire when it comes to election issues in Nigeria. But however, we all know that over the recent years, the ruling party always manipulate the INEC chairman to always do their bidding. But we also pray this time that this 2020 election is going to be different. The INEC chairman will also be leaving a good legacy if he can allow a free, fair, and credible election during this 2023 election. Because Nigerians are angry as we speak. Fuel is being sold for 800 naira for the first time in the history of Nigeria over 60 years of independence. Insecurity, we can't even talk about that. Everybody knows exactly what's going on in Nigeria as of today. So I see we don't need a soothsayer or a prophet or a prophetess to tell us that this election is going to be a referendum on the ruling party. It is going to be a referendum on the ruling party because they've been in office for 7.5 years, going on 8 years in a few months. Why the party, the PDP, they're also in power for 16 years because they failed came into power. The referendum is going to be on these two political parties. That is why you and I, we, body, campaign for Peter Obi to be the party. Because what he did when he was the former governor of Anambra State, all his records are there. The facts are there for everybody to verify. So, my brother Fidelis, what should the INEC do as an umpire, the unbiased umpire in this election? What can they do to ensure that the issue of vote buying does not occur in this election?
Thank you very much. The issue of vote buying, I think we should bring the attention of our security agencies, because INEC cannot stop people to sell or buy votes, but security agencies can. So INEC should do everything to make sure that every polling unit has security personnel to checkmate those kind of activities. I'm talking about voting too. One thing we should also take note of is insecurity in some areas. There's insecurity all over Nigeria, but in some areas the case is worse. Places like in the Niger State, some southeastern states, Borno State, Zamfara, Katsina. You see, like when you are in these places, you understand what it means to just have freedom in your country, in your land. So these people, they really want to vote, but like Niger State bandit, they've taken over so many local governments. In Borno State, the same thing. Zamfara, the same thing. Some eastern state now, this unknown government. So if Muhammad Buhari really want to ensure that this election is free and fair, number one, then two, make sure that people who are ready to vote come out and vote in peace. Let him talk to the security personnel. Let them take charge of all those communities that has been taken over by bandits and terrorists, because those people you see that are there, they understand what it means to have an effective government. So they are willing to vote the right person without fear or favor. They don't care about religion anymore. It's not about religion, it's not about tribe. It's about good governance, competence, love, patriotism. So they are ready. So President Muhammad Buhari should make sure that the security personnel take charge of those communities, because they are Nigerians, so they must cast their vote. INEC must make sure every polling unit has security personnel to take charge, to monitor vote buying, and they should not look at face. They should not consider this man because he's a big man in the society. When he's there trying to buy vote, we cannot arrest him. Arrest anybody. Anybody. Arrest anybody. Prosecute the person. Anybody that breaks the law, arrest him or her, prosecute him or her, so that others will learn. And because this election means a lot to Nigeria, this election is a very, very big factor to determine how Nigeria is going to be. If Nigeria is going to grow or Nigeria is going to destroy, this election will determine that. So federal government should please do everything. I remember the last time, that 2015 you're talking about, I remember what President Goodluck Jonathan did. How he brought out security or agencies to wipe out, but those people they came out to vote, even if they voted against him, but he did the right thing. So Buhari should follow that step too. Bring out Nigeria security personnel to wipe out those places, those terrorist stronghold, so that those people they can vote. But this is internet. One INEC official said the beavers is supposed to transmit 150 votes, and you transmit 100 votes. If you don't operate it,
Connection is really bad. I don't know.
Yeah, your connection is going off and on.
Yeah. Oh, so that 50 votes, is what is affecting the Osun State election. So the INEC should make sure they check, they look into that beavers thing, and train their personnel very well on how to use it. Because if they don't know how to use it, that's another factor to begin to see.
Thank you, my brother. Let's take a quick commercial break before we round up this program now.
Just a play, just a play. Sir, I'm an influencer, but I don't have data to follow up matters. My brother, no problem. You no get PVC, you dey shout we need change, we need a new Nigeria, my brother. Just a play. You think it's funny? They play now, no problem. Just a play. You think say na me you dey do, just a play.
You think na me you dey do, just the play. You not get PVC, they shout for social media, say you need change. You're wasting your time. Anyway, my wonderful audience, we've almost come to the end of today's segment. Bad governments are elected by good people, good citizens who don't vote. Your vote is your right. You must go out there, encourage your friends, family, work, colleague, like I said from the beginning, to go and collect their PVC if they've not done so. So on election day, you all can go out there and vote for credible leader. Vote a candidate of your choice. Someone you so much believe in that if he or she is there in the aims of affair of the nation, Nigeria will prosper again. Nigeria will come out of this insecurity, unemployment, and starvation in the land. We are here campaigning for Peter Greg Ruby of Labour Party. That is our candidate. But we will not tell you who to vote for, but we can only sell our candidate to you with his manifesto, with what we believe he will be able to do on behalf of Nigerians, just like he did when he was the former governor of Anambra State. But we are also at the same time encouraging you to look into this man properly and make your informed decision before the 25th of February 2023. And the party to vote for, the party that we're asking people to vote for is Labour Party. I'm going to show you a logo on where to thumbprint. If you decide to vote on election day for Peter Gregory Obi of Labour Party and Dr. Yusuf is vice, it's Labour Party with LP, and that's the symbol where you need to thumbprint in between, not on the line, but in between. Because when you vote, when you thumbprint on the line, that vote is invalid. But you have to thumbprint in between. So the best thing is to put your hand across in the middle or just a little bit top inside the box. So that way your ballot will be counted and it will be valid. You don't want to waste your time going to the polling unit on election day. At the end of the day, your ballot is invalid. That is not going to help you. It's not going to help the person you decide to vote for on election day. It's not also going to help us who are also here advocating for a better Nigerian. So we must all get it right, vote right, and ensure your vote is counted on election day. Dr. Edmond, give our audience your final thoughts about today's program.
All right. Thank you very much, my brother Prince, for this wonderful opportunity to spend a moment with my fellow Nigerians and other viewers watching all over the world. My closing remark is to remind Nigerians that this election is our election. It is our time to elect the right leadership to make us rise from the ashes into the arena to compete with other great nations of the world who have been in the dark for too long, who have been the poverty capital of the world for so far too long, who have had our children out of school, millions of them, over 20 million for so long, who have suffered, our universities have suffered from ASU strike for far too long. It is time to put that in our past, that if we want to think about it, it's going to be in our history books. This should not be part of our future. Our future should be a glorious one, and we can make that happen. Every Nigerian in Nigeria, or if you're in the diaspora and you plan to go home to vote, make sure you have your PVC by now. And if you're in Nigeria, you haven't gotten your PVC, but you registered, make sure you collect your PVC before the deadline. The new deadline is fast approaching. The new deadline is, I believe, the 5th of February. That is in 4 days' time is a new deadline. So make sure you use this 4 days judiciously to collect your PVC. And then make sure on election day, there's 2 election days. Some people always just focus on the federal election. The federal election is 25th of this month. That's where you elect the president and the vice and his vice. And the president is Peter Obi, by the way. Vote for Peter Obi. LP is the party, and Papa Mama Pekin logo is the logo to watch out for. Then the House of Assembly, the senators and are also elected on the 25th. So make sure you elect the right senators, because I know many of you, just like me, are clamoring for a brand new constitution. We cannot get a brand new constitution by having the same senators and the same House of Assembly that we have now, because those people like the constitution as the way it is. So we have to get the right senators and the right House of Assembly to give us a brand new constitution. Because Peter Obi is not going to give us that brand new constitution, because Peter Obi does not have the power to do so. Peter Obi, when he becomes president, is going to wield the executive power. The people that make the law, the people that create the constitution are the legislative branch of the government. That is your senators and the House of Rep members. That's why you should also pay attention for the people you vote for those offices. And then on 11th of March, you should make sure you come out again and vote. That is the state election. That's when you elect about 28 governors all across the country need to be elected on that day, on 11th of March. And then the state House assemblies. So make sure come out 25th of February to vote, and again, 11th of March to vote. Thank you very much. The future of Nigeria is in your hands. Don't fail me, don't fail yourself, and don't fail our future generation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, my brother Edmond. My brother Fidelis, your closing remarks to our wonderful viewers.
Viewers, I just want to say, you all know what is going on. You all are feeling the heat. If you don't want things to get worse, come out and vote for that Obi. Vote for Labour Party. If not, the situation is going to get worse. You won't have a Nigeria to call your own again. We are not supposed to be begging or calling on anybody to vote or tell them who to vote for if they love themselves and they love the country. Because as it is now, we need to do the right thing. We need to vote in the right person. We don't have to be partisan anymore. We don't have to vote because of religion or tribe. All those sentiments should be put aside. We need to vote in the right candidate that will take us there, that will fix Nigeria, that will make Nigeria work again. If not, at the end of the day, we are going to regret our actions. It's better for us to vote and be happy than regretting our action. So, my people, come out and vote, protect your vote, and vote for Peter Obi. It is high time we start looking at candidates and not the party. Because if you see these three major candidates now, you will see you'll see the big difference. They have nothing to offer rather than insulting one another. Only Labour Party's candidate is the only one talking about the real issues and not about all those stupid games they are playing. So my people, shine your eye, vote and protect your vote. Vote for Labour Party LP. That's what you see on the box. Mama, Papa, Piquet, that's the logo. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, my brother. It's always good to have both of you on my program. My fellow Nigerians, we have almost come to the end of today's segment. But before I leave, I'm going to leave you with some few words. First, if you want to be a guest on this program, you can send me an email on face-to-face.gcsdn@gmail.com. The email address is right below the screen. You can send me an email and I'll be very happy to bring you here so we can discuss the future of Nigeria. We're all Nigerians. Nation building is not one man business. I always tell people that. I'm going to see you next week. The same place here, same time. But before then, remember, ballot is stronger than bullet, Nigerians. Your destiny is in your hand. This is the only opportunity for us to take the bull by the horn. We have what it takes. We have the numbers. The youth, according to the INEC registration, the youth have over 60% of the registered voters as of today. About 95 million people are fully registered to vote on this election, but the youth, they have the numbers. If we choose, if we decide to truly take our country back and give it back to our own generation, this is the moment, this is the time for us to do that. Until next week, same time, same place, remain blessed, my fellow Nigerians, and God bless you all.